Good day everyone, especially to you sir. By the way sir, I am Alvin your Jerusalem Tabamo. Sir, my topic is in chapter 3, Photographic Film and Papers. So sir, I'm gonna begin my discussion. So first, I'm gonna define what is photographic films and papers. Photographic films is a sheet of plastic for recording visual senses. The plastic has been especially treated to be sensitive to light. The image is recorded on the plastic when the exposed to light film. Film is kept in small canister which protect it from the light. In the middle of 19th century, the evolutions of progress of how camera was invented as well as the process from itself to develop negative to make positive image, and what is the chemicals and medium used. All the process that's involved during that time, the use of the silver, nitrate and other chemicals were made into 2 steps, meaning to say you will undergo first into a process to make the medium as well as the chemicals that you needed to coat the light sensitive. The inventions of photography was built on experiment after experiment, done by English people mostly in Europe countries. It has a big help to capture the different scenario even if you are not expert on photography. You can do it by yourself. Photographic paper has the same emulsions of photographic film. That the only difference is that photographic paper uses sheet of plastic, while photographic paper refers to a paper coated with light-sensitive chemicals and exposed to light in controlled manner, either by placing a negative manner contact with the paper directly to produce a contact print by using an enlarger in order to create a latent image. So that is the definitions of photographic films and papers. So let's proceed to black and white films. So what is black and white films? A black and white film is basically made up of emulsion, gray or anti-halogene backing, and a support base. Black and white film contains the emulsions that when processed change color into various shades of gray. The earliest film stock was anthropometric, sensitive to blue and green light wave, as the panchromatic, which is sensitive to all light waves. So that is the meaning of black and white films. So there are three types of black and white films. First is emulsion. Photographic emulsions consist of crystal or light-sensitive compounds, silver nitrate evenly distributed throughout plastic-based material. Silver halide emulsions are universally sensitive to the ultraviolet radiations and the some wavelength of blue light. They can be made sensitive to other colors of light and near infrared radiation by the additions of special synthesizations there. Gelatin is universally used as the medium that holds the crystal in emulsions. So that is the emulsion. Let's proceed to number 2, the gray or anti-halogene backing. This is the layer is placed between the emulsions and the plastic base of film to prevent whether light that passes through the emulsions and reflected by the base back to the emulsion, which forms a halo. The anti-halogene backings, the bottom layers of a sheet of film is very dark. The bottom layer is very dark. colors materials that prevent hallucination. This anti-hallucination backing prevents light from passing through the film and subsequently reflecting back up from any reflective surface under the film. Because light reflects at an angle, the reflected light would not return at the same angle. It struck the reflected surface the light traveling. An unwanted angle would expose halos around existing image. The dark color material absorbs any light that penetrates the film, thus preventing the light from reflecting and causing hallucination. The anti-hallucination backing is washed away during film processing. So let's proceed to the last, which is base. Base. Generally, film by base are made of plastic material. They serve as support to the emotions. So the base is they serve as support to the emotions. The base that takes of layers supports the other layers. Originally, the base was made of glass. So you know that the base is made of glass. However, today the base can be made from number of materials ranging from paper to aluminum. Photographers primarily films are commonly called films, while paper-based films are called photographic papers. It is a particularly suitable base for film because it is dimensionally stable. Dimensionally stable materials do not appreciably change size when the temperature or moisture level of the film changes. Films are subjected to heated liquids and to heat during wet in graphic process. Therefore, dimensional stability is very important for graphic communications photographers because their final image must always match the given size. Conversely, paper is not dimensionally stable and it is only appropriate as a film base when the photographic print is the final product last contrasted on the intermediate step in multi-steps process. So we're done to black and white films. So let's proceed to characteristic of B and W films. The characteristic of B and W films are speed, sensitivity to light, spectral wavelength or color, sensitivity and granularity or graininess. Although films are universally manufactured in about the same way, there are controlled variations in procedures, choice and proportions of chemical use in processing films of different characteristics. So there are three types of characteristic of BW films. First is the emotion speed. Second is the spectral sensitivity. Third is the granularity or graininess. So first I'm gonna discussing to you the emotion speed. So what is emotion speed? Emotion speed, the extent to which an emotion is sensitive to light, it is referred to as its emotion speed. In short, it is dictate how much light films needs. Each film has a speed and needs. Each film has a speed and each speed has its own use. The lower the number, the slower the film. The higher the number, the higher the film. So we'll see. If the lower number, the slower the film. If the higher number, the higher the film. At the same time, larger the silver halides, the faster the film, and the smaller the silver halides, as the slower the film. So that is the emotion speed. So there are three different indicators of emulsion speed. First is ESA, which is American Standard Association. Second is the DIN, Dinchi Industry Norman. And the last is the International Standard Organization. So first, what is ESA? ESA is the expressed in arithmetic value system. The speed in numbers is directly proportional to the sensitivity of the materials. The bigger the number, the faster the film is. The lower the number is the lower sensitivity of the film. So that is the American Standard of Association. So next, let's proceed to DIN. Dinchi Industry Norman. This expressed in logarithmic value system, an increase of 3 degrees double the sensitivity of the film. The difference of DIN to ESA is it increases to 3 degrees. So that is the difference between ESA and DIN. DIN have increased to 3 degrees. That's why they are different. So let's proceed to the last different indicators of emulsion speed, which is ISO, International Standard Organizations. Combinations of ESE and DIN. So the ISO is the combinations of ESE and DIN. This is the examples of different indicators of speed. This is the as you can see, ESE is 12, DIN is 12, the ISO is the combinations of ESE and DIN. So that is the different emulsion speed routines are. So let's proceed to spectral sensitivity. So what is spectral sensitivity? According to my research, spectral sensitivity, each film has its own sensitivity with respect of a spectrum film. It's not all equally sensitivity to all wavelength or to all colors. So that is the spectral sensitivity. There are 4 classifications of spectral sensitivity, which is low sensitivity film, orthochromatic film, panchromatic film, and last is infrared film. Low sensitive film sensitive to ultraviolet rays and blue light only. So that is the low sensitive film. The orthochromatic film sensitive to ultraviolet rays, blue and green light only. So that is the orthochromatic film. So to the panchromatic film, sensitive to ultraviolet radiation to blue, green, and red light or all colors. The panchromatic film is the light of all colors. And the last is the infrared film, sensitive to ultraviolet rays to blue, green, red light, and infrared rays. So that is the 4 spectral sensitivity. So let's proceed to the last, which is not last. Granularity or greenness. This refers to the size of metallic silver grains that are formed after development of an exposed film. Generally, the size of metallic silver grains are dependent on the emulsion speed of the film and the type of developing solutions that is used in processing the roll. The lower the emulsion speed rating of the film, the finer is the regraining, and conversely, the higher the emulsions. Speed rating of the films, the bigger are the grains likewise. A film developer will produce a finer grain than a paper developer would use for film processing. So the means in that granularity of grains is that the silver halide crystal is created to developing chemicals. It will react first to light, record to talent image, and undergo developing process and become metallic silver. Grains of granularity of a film and turn into negative image. So that is the granularity or graininess. So let's proceed to color films. So what is color films? Color film is a multi-layer emulsion coated to the same support or base. The top emulsion is the sensitive to blue light only, since green and red light passes through it without effect. The blue light alone makes the exposure. A yellow filter layer above the middle emulsions absorbs any unused blue light and prevents it from reaching the two lower emulsion layers. The yellow colors is the filter layer have two permanent effect of the appearance of the film because it is destroyed during processing. The middle emulsion is the sensitive to green light but not to red light. Like all emulsions, the middle layer is also sensitive to blue light but the blue light cannot reach it. The exposure in this layer is therefore made by green light alone. The bottom layer is sensitive to red light, but it is sensitivity to green light is too slow as to be elicitable. Hence, the exposure in this layer is made by red light alone. These three emulsion layers are coated on film base which has an anti-halations backing. There are three types of color films, which is image formation in color negative film. Original subject represented schematically by color patches. Second is the cross sections of color negative film. Silver halide grains exposed in the camera have been developed to produce negative silver image. Simultaneously, these are formed with color couplers in each emulsions layer. The third is the cross sections of color negative film after the silver have been bleached, residual colors couplers. So that is the types of color. So let's proceed to negative or non-reversal film. The suffix color is given to negative or non-reversal film. This film yields either a negative or positive image depending on how in use. Example are codicolor, funicular, and agficular, etc. So the picture example is the negative or non-reversal film. That is the example of this picture. Second is the reversal film. The suffix chrome that is applied to reversal material. This film with positive image of transparency for projections viewing. Example are Kodachrome, Itachrome, and Fusichrome, and Agfachrome, etc. This is the example of reversal film. So let's proceed to. So that is the types of color films. So now we're in the photographic papers, black and white. Modern photographic papers are basically composed of a light sensitive coating on a paper base or support. The emulsion suspended of gelatin is generally made of silver halide salts. So redstone the rigors of soaking the chemical solutions and water during processing and washing. as well as the variety of degree of humidity and temperature. The base is made of wood pulp. The characteristic of photographic paper. There are three, which is chloride paper, bromide paper, chloride bromide paper. Chloride paper has a slow speed and it is suited for contact printing. Yes, chloride paper, their sensitive paper are suitable for contact printing, yield one tone image by development. If the result is one tone image, it produces yellow or brownish or reddish tone image than bromide paper. While the bromide paper has a fast speed and it is recommended for projections, printing, or enlarging. Bromide papers with silver bromide emulsions are sensitive and produce neutral, black, or gold blue pack images, tones suitable for enlargement. And not but the least is the chlorobromide papers, containing blend of silver chloride and silver bromide salts. The emulsion produces paper sensitive enough to be used for enlarging and contract printing. They produce one black to neutral image tones by development, which can be varied by using different developers.